Since I talk about Alaska so much, and I have so many people come to me asking what they can do to make their Alaska cruise that much better, there is one topic that comes up all the time, and that has to do with the northern lights. You know, you've seen those pictures on the internet, you've seen the videos, these beautiful luminescent green colors sparkling in the skyline at night. Well, of course, when somebody goes to Alaska, they're going up north, they want to see the northern lights. Let's get into this. Hey everybody, welcome to Cruise with Charles. If you're new here and you like all things cruising, you're a new cruiser, you're just looking for more information, I've got tips, tricks. I've been cruising for over 30 years, and some years I've got 12 plus cruises booked. So I'm going to invite you to take a moment, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you get updates when I put out another video. So now today we're going to talk about the northern lights and what the chances are of you actually seeing them while you're on your Alaskan cruise. Okay, so for those of you that don't understand exactly what causes the northern lights, and this not only happens at the North Pole, it also happens at the South Pole. But up near the North Pole, we're just going to use Alaska because Alaska cruises, right? So up near the North Pole, charged particles from the sun end up hitting the Earth's atmosphere, and it creates this light show, which is normally seen as different colored greens. Occasionally you get a few other colors when there's a big solar flare, but under normal conditions, it's a green haze, kind of wavy looking lines you see in the sky. It's really spectacular. I've seen it many times. But again, this is going to be up north, and of course you want to know if you're going to be able to see them on your Alaska cruise. Well, here's the issues surrounding being able to see the northern lights. One, under normal conditions, the northern lights only come down to about 35 degrees, the 35th parallel, which is right around the Arctic Circle, which is north of Fairbanks. Now, living in Anchorage for many years, even during the winter, when it is dark, we would very, very rarely see the northern lights. Very rarely. The few times I have seen the northern lights, I was closer to Fairbanks or in Tok, Alaska, which is right on the Canadian border. I was up near the Arctic Circle. I was farther north. Now, I know some of you are going to say, well, they've been seen in Michigan. Yes, there are occasions when there is a big solar flare that you'll be able to see them farther south. But one of the biggest things you need to be able to see them is it needs to be a clear sky. It needs to be dark, nighttime. And you don't want to have a full moon. You don't want the moon lighting up the night sky. You want a pitch black night with no moon to be able to see them. So when you're on your Alaska cruise, when you start getting up towards Juneau and north of Ketchikan, up towards Juneau, all the way up into Whittier or Seward, well, the closer you start going north, I can tell you honestly, during the summer, Anchorage has 22 hours of daylight. So as fast as the sun's setting, the sun's coming back up. Yes, I have sunset pictures up in Anchorage during the summer, but you take that photo as the sun's going down, and within a couple hours it's coming back up. It never gets fully dark. It's kind of like you sit in sunset and sunrise for a few hours, and that's about it. And of course, if you get up farther north, Prudhoe Bay, up in Chicken, up in that area, we're going to have 6 months of daylight, 6 months of nighttime. You don't get sunsets and sunrises. So being in Alaska during the summer, which is the cruise season, you don't get that nighttime. You'll get as you're farther south, you'll get a few more hours, but not a whole lot. So then is it even really possible to see the northern lights when you're on a cruise? Yes, it is. But you've got to go during the right times. So the best time of year to really see the northern lights is during the winter. But you can kind of catch that if you do a late September cruise or you do an early April cruise. Those are going to be your two time frames that you're going to have the best chances. Does it occasionally happen during the other months? Yes, it does. Very rarely. And again, that's just based off of if there's a big solar flare, sending lots of these charged particles to the Earth's atmosphere and lighting up the sky. But again, you're going to have a real small window to see them. And that's probably going to be closer to between 11 and 2 in the morning. You're going to have just that real short window that you might be able to see them. So if you are on a cruise, going up to Alaska, if you've got one booked, you're planning on going, try to walk out onto the open decks really late. Figure out when the sun's setting, when the sun's rising. Your captain should be able to put out that information. And from there, you'll know what that little window. Go out and look. If there's a good solar flare, you're going to have a good chance of seeing them. But I would strongly discourage you from trying to book a cruise up to Alaska just to see the northern lights. Your chances are very slim. And I'm just being honest with you. And again, all my years in Anchorage, out in Prince William Sound, fishing. In fact, this photo right here, this was taken at 2 o'clock in the morning. And you can see how bright it still is out. And this is just south of Anchorage. So you're going to the land of the midnight sun. Even though you do get a little bit of dark, it doesn't last long. All right. I hope this provides you some good information about your chances of seeing the northern lights. It's just honest. If you want to see the northern lights, plan a trip up in the winter. Fly up to Fairbanks. Go stay at Chena Hot Springs. It's a nice resort. Go up there for a weekend. See the dog sleds. Do the hot springs. See the northern lights. Definitely something you want to put on your bucket list. 100%. You will enjoy doing something like that. And that is when you will see the northern lights, because you are far enough north near the Arctic Circle that you'll be able to see them. All right, I'm working on a whole series right now on what you can and might not see, cannot see on your cruise up to Alaska. It's going to break down all the different months when you have the prime opportunity to see different things. So with that said, I really encourage you to go ahead and hit that like, hit that subscribe, and hit that bell notification. Then you'll know when I'm putting out these other Alaska videos. All right, so until next time, I am out of here.